NHLiberty.org presents this edition of the Ridley Report. Well, as you can see here, let me go back to the beginning of the story that you're seeing in front of you right now. A while back, a buddy of mine gave me a bunch of Band-Aids, and I wasn't really sure what to do with them. So, eventually I started trying to take the Band-Aids and add them to other sort of disaster preparedness items, and sell them together. Maybe you buy some Band-Aids, some hard candy, some candles, all in the same box. I called it Ridley's Store and Ignore Disaster Box. Well, I didn't really sell enough of these for it to be worth my time, so I abandoned the project to some extent, but I still had the Band-Aids. So I had a more recent project idea for what to do with this, and it's more philanthropic. The idea was to make little disaster kits of some kind and give them away. Because, they've got these Band-Aids. I've got more Band-Aids than I'm ever going to use unless I get cut quite a bit. So what I did was I've collected or created, I guess, what you might call this thing. This is the first, I don't know what we're going to call it, Ridley's disposable disaster tube, I guess is what I should call it. But it's just it's like a 20-ounce container that, of course, I already had anyway. Normally you'd throw this kind of thing away, but I filled it with matches and hard candy, hand sanitizer, plastic baggies, some tissue paper. One of my viewers is saying, too long of a name. I'm not sure why, but anyway, as you know, I'm broadcasting live on Quick.com right now, so Quick lets viewers give you live commentary while they're watching the video. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what's in this kit. This is what you're looking at here are the contents of my kit, my personal kit. Right over here, and then this over here is going to be the first one that I give away. So anyway, back to my box. This is probably the most important thing that would be in any disaster kit, and it's it's a little bit of bleach straight out of the bottle. And one thing that's not in this kit, however, it's mostly for treating water or for any kind of disinfecting that doesn't involve putting it on the skin. One thing I don't have, however, is I don't have instructions in either of these for how to treat water, and I really should print out some instructions and include them, and I do plan on doing that, at least in some of the future ones that I'm going to be giving away. Now over here, connected to the bleach, is a dropper device that can pour out, that you can measure out drops. Normally, when you treat water with bleach, you want to put 16 drops of bleach per quart, I believe, according to the Red Cross, initially. And if that clears up the water of its, or at least if it does certain things to the water, then you can go ahead and drink it. Otherwise, you have to put more in. But I'm not going to go into all the detail about how you treat water. Hard candy, of course, was, that's a big favorite of photojournalist Fred Shook. When he goes to hot spots around the world, he takes hard candy with him, makes a lot of friends. It's worked for me. And, a few candles. Now, in my disaster tube, I have included vitamin C for myself and multivitamins, but I didn't really feel comfortable putting that in something that I was going to give away to somebody else, because I'm not sure they'd want me handling, their vitamins by hand directly, just with And anyway, then this here, some plastic baggies and Kleenex, both of which I think are kind of more important than people realize. And then, of course, here the kind of thing that started it all, Band-Aids. One thing you don't see here in this collection is antiseptic for treating injuries. I'll be including that in both my tube and the one I'm going to give away. I'm going to be giving I'm going to try to hopefully make more. Maybe I'll have hopefully 4 or 5 to give away by Porcupine Fest. And it's not like a contest or anything. It's just, walk up to me and let me know that you'd like to have one of them, and hopefully I can get one to you if I still have some left. And and it's going to be a little bit hit and miss. But one of my goals in doing this is to foster what I guess I would call a culture of preparedness in New Hampshire, which already exists to some extent, but it would be nice to enhance that as the wheels come off in Washington and things get dicey in the United States. The other goal that I had was to create something that was a little bit disposable and maybe made more of a priority of water treatment. The Store and Ignore disaster box that I made a couple years ago, those units, or whatever you might want to call them, focused on only stuff that had an indefinite shelf life. So I didn't put any bleach in them, since it really only has a shelf life of 2 or 3 years. I understand that to be the case. Since it's more disposable, I feel more comfortable using bleach, which is really the mother of all water treatment devices. Just expecting that if you buy, or not buy, but if you are given one of these, then you feel comfortable throwing it away in 2 years because you didn't pay anything for it. And really, I didn't really pay much of anything for it either. This is all just supposed to be stuff that's just kind of extremely cheap, or that I got for free. Also, another goal that I have is to get assistance. I would like it if, for instance, there's some stuff I just don't have enough of. These kind of eyedropper type devices that are capable of producing drops of water that can be easily measured. I don't have very many of those, and if you do, or you know a way to get them really cheaply, I would certainly appreciate an influx of such devices, which would really cure a gridlock problem that I have, that would enable me to make a lot more of these kits. Another thing that I need, I've got it written down somewhere, and I can't remember what it was exactly. Oh, I need more small containers, kind of like this, 1 or 2 ounce containers that are preferably capable of carrying bleach. But this one here is just carrying hand sanitizer, so that's not as caustic, I think. Anything that could carry fluid, basically, and the more resilient and food grade it is, the better. Because the more resilient stuff, I can use it for more different things. What else? Okay, I'm going to look over my notes here and make sure I haven't missed anything. And since that's going to be very boring for you, I'm just going to, make some little music for you while I'm looking over my notes. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. Hand sanitizer is pretty good for starting fires, and so is Vaseline. If you need to start a campfire, if you start a campfire or something, both of those are pretty good for that. The more dual use you can get out of something, the better. I guess one thing that might be helpful is, especially if you're going to be at Porcupine Fest, if you're in a position where you could, where I could maybe send you a file or two that you could print out, then you could print out the instructions for how to treat water. I don't have a printer, and I don't really like to go to Kinko's for something if I can help it. I like Kinko's, but I just don't want to have to do this at Kinko's if I can help it. So if you want to volunteer your printer, then maybe you could print out 10 or 15 pages or more of water treatment instructions, because water treatment is the most important aspect of disaster preparedness, supposedly. I can't think of anything else, so I probably shouldn't drag this out any further. And it's been kind of a long video. Thanks for sticking with me. One last thing that I did include that I forgot to mention, safety pins, which can be used for, splinter removal, and also for safety pin isms. Another dual-use item. All right, I think that's enough. This edition of the Ridley Report brought to you by the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. They're, I think, possibly the only pro-liberty organization in the world that has ever had a majority of its endorsed candidates elected.
So check them out at nhliberty.org. Usually when they endorse somebody, that person gets in. nhliberty.org.